I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will move on into the consensus agenda.
Yeah, move that we approve the vouchers for the month. And we've got accounts payable vouchers for $692,561.62. Payroll amounts to $456,465.80. For a grand total of $1,149,027.42. And along with that, I also move that we approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Moved by Steve, second by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes.
A bit of a delay.
Yeah, for those watching or tuning in tonight, I don't know how to say that. Kevin is joining us remotely, so there may be a small delay. Patron comments. That's when you guys get to ask questions if you have any.
I was homeschooled. We call this family meetings. I have no idea.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another chance.
We're going to continue with our family meeting.
Okay, we'll move on to personnel.
All right. Sorry, that was good, Mr. Westover. I appreciate that. I'd like to recommend the approval of Dave Caswell as a junior high baseball volunteer coach.
Been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I'd like to recommend Gabriel Duke and Isaiah Haynes as part-time summer custodians.
It's been moved by Ken, seconded by Wes. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
And last but not least, in the personnel, I'd like to recommend the approval of Barry Baker as the corporation maintenance director.
I move we approve that.
It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any discussion?
Did he start today?
Yes. He is shadowing Mr. Gephardt.
Okay.
Yep.
All in favor?
I'm sure he'll vote for him.
Yeah.
Looks like it's locked.
Mr. Boyer, did you vote to approve Mr. Baker?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay,
It just locked up on our
it
end.
locked up on our end.
So you were just looking at us for a little bit.
All right, motion passes 5-0. On to other business.
All right, I'd like to recommend transportation for the Marshall County 4-H to Camp Amigo. Along the same lines, I'd like to recommend the transportation for Pine Grove Amish students to Shipshewana. Both of those organizations called and asked if we'd be willing to transport them, and we are willing to do so if you would allow that.
It's been moved by Ken, seconded by Wes. Any discussion?
Do we have drivers for those already?
They have those posted to officially say somebody has signed up for them. I don't know that yet, but they have been posted for sign up.
All in favor? Is it locked up again? Oh, there we go.
Typically, to answer your question a little bit further, Laura usually canvasses people to say, would you be willing? So usually she has a good idea if somebody's going to be willing to do that. If there's two, then they have to make decisions. But next, I'd like to make the recommendation for Central Indiana Hardware quote for the high school entrance. And that's part of the bond project that we've talked about.
I move we approve that.
Been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I'd like to make the recommendation for Central Restaurant Products quote for the elementary cafeteria equipment. If you recall, last month, we retracted our previous recommendation, and we had 3 quotes, and Central Restaurant Products was the best quote for the same product.
It's moved by Wes, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I'd like to recommend Central Indiana Hardware quote to replace the trench training room doors. The doors that go into the training room in the trench. They were doing an asbestos check, and they're concerned with some of the flaking that's coming off of that, that might be a possibility, so they would like to replace those before that becomes an issue.
It's been moved by Ken, seconded by Wes. Any discussion?
So they're gonna be both sets of doors?
Both sets of doors, and just as with the question piece of that, they're likely going to be wood doors, similar to the color of the other doors that are in the trench now. But because baseballs have had a tendency to kind of ding up the metal doors, those are going to be wood doors.
Okay.
Both sets, they're going to match.
Same old baseballs ding those up too? Or not as bad?
Not nearly as bad as the metal we found in the trench, or in the tack. There's dimples all over the place, yeah. Yeah. Maybe not as visible.
Small indentation as opposed to large, right?
Kevin, are you in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I'd recommend the approval of Sharp School Services quote for the elementary desks and chairs, replacing. How about we recommend the approval of the science curriculum quotes for the high school and elementary? Thank you for all the people. I think Mr. Miller was on that.
I will second that.
Moved by Ken, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I recommend the approval of Sharp School Services quote for the elementary desks and chairs to replace aging desks and chairs at the elementary.
I move we approve that.
It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any discussion?
Same ones,
Same ones?
yeah. They lasted for a while.
How many are we getting? I'm interested in.
Chairs, it's K through 12, or K through 6. Desks, it's K through 3. They didn't find something suitable that they agreed on 4 through 6. And it's the same desk we currently have, K through 6. So they think they can keep the best of those and fulfill 3 grade levels the last another year or two when they decide on a replacement for the rest of them.
Between storage and size and cost, it was
Yeah.
just very difficult for intermediate to make a decision. Or should I say lack of storage, type of storage, and
Too big, not enough storage.
too big, not enough storage, or you have your storage and they're still, we tend to have more of our students in the upper grades. And the prices,
Too expensive
yeah,
just to
pay
get.
for it, but it's just like, if you don't love it, we're not spending the money.
All in favor? Motion, his hand's kind of up. Motion passes 5-0.
I recommend the approval of a J Lane quote to replace the VCT tile in the high school. That's been on a kind of a series of areas each year, and this is the next portion of that.
I
I move we replace the tile.
Second.
Been moved by Wes, seconded by Steve. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I recommend the approval of the Northern Indiana Education Service Center Shared Dietitian Consortium Service Contract. This is Kayla Cullup, and she has been the dietitian the last few years, so this is just re-upping that. She helps Margot come up with meals, quantity purchasing, just helps out a lot.
Do we have to have that dietitian on staff?
Yes.
For state level, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I move we approve that contract.
I'll second it. I think you should have to say the entire thing
Yeah.
in your motion.
Some-
Dietitian Consortium Services Contract.
It's been moved by Steve, seconded by Ken. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
And last but not least, I'd like to recommend the approval of meal prices. The elementary breakfast and lunch will stay the same, so $1.20 for breakfast, $2.20 for lunch. The high school breakfast is $1.40 right now. We will increase that by 5 cents, and lunch is $2.70. We will increase that by 10 cents. It was recommended probably 5 years ago now that every year we increase that by at least 10 cents. We've tried to hold off on that, looking at both the elementary and the high school budgets. We just feel like a small increase is probably going to help that remain sustainable, but try to impact families as least as we possibly can.
Approve these meal prices.
I'll second that.
Been moved by Ken, seconded by Steve. Any discussion?
I have a related question.
Okay, all in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
I was reading someplace about due money got kids that haven't paid for the lunches and stuff. Do we have much of that here where we've got?
No, our meal policy at the high school, you're not supposed to be able to charge. At the elementary, I think most you can go in the hole is negative $5. That being said, you don't want to deny a kid a lunch. But through services and donations, it's helped clean up a lot of that.
So we really don't have any major balance?
No, not at all.
Okay, I was reading someplace in some of my literature somehow that there were schools that had large unpaid balances in their fund.
We've been pretty fortunate in that area.
Very minimal.
Good, thank you.
Moving on to superintendent.
All right, sticking with continuous improvement, the bleachers in the trench are complete. They look great. Improvements this summer will be made to the stage, lighting, and sound in the Performing Arts Center, so looking forward to those upgrades. The high school and elementary office renovations will increase efficiency and safety. Door 4 will receive a cosmetic upgrade from settling concerns. And the high school electrical will receive upgrades as well. So really amping up, preparing those for the summer projects and making sure that those are in line. Shared leadership, Bruce Gephardt will be honored on May 12th. So this is a reminder for you guys, but also just a thank you to him as he is getting ready to retire. So May 12th, 2 to 4 p.m. For his thank you for his years of service. We'll recognize those on May 12th for students, staff, and community as the Director of Maintenance. I'd like to invite our board of trustees and staff to help celebrate Bruce. Thank you, Bruce, for serving our community and our school corporation. Well done. Social responsibility, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you. This is from Mr. McIntyre, Mason McIntyre, from Second Mile Mission. We had some elementary students go over and help him set up at the Warsaw Community Church today in preparation for their legacy dinner that they're having on Friday night. So a service project, a group of the 6th grade students with Stacy Sheets' help has been able to do that. So he said, I wanted to take a moment to thank you for sending a few kids over to WCC this morning to help us set up for the dinner on Friday evening. The kids did a great job, and we were able to complete the work quickly. The Second Mile Mission team is so thankful for their help. I even had a few minutes to share with the kids whose Second Mile Mission is and what we do. It was fun to spend some time with them today. Thanks again. Accountability. Over the last 3 weeks, students in grades 3 through 8 have been working hard to complete the iLearn assessment. This is a state assessment that every child in Indiana in grades 3 through 8 take to monitor their end-of-the-year proficiency on standards. We continue to prepare students for this assessment, but more importantly, skills that will help them succeed in life. Thank you, teachers and students, for your hard work and giving your absolute best on these end-of-the-year assessments. High expectations. We have had, since our last board meeting, a CTE awards banquet, and on this Friday night, we have the academic awards banquet. These are 2 evenings set aside to honor those students who have maximized their potential and have taken full advantage of highly effective staff that has poured into them academically, socially, and emotionally. Alignment on Sunday evening, just this last Sunday, I guess it was afternoon, we had the FFA end-of-the-year banquet at the Gallery on West in Argus. This was a well-run event that honored the students for their hard work and efforts throughout the past year. I want to thank President Cheyenne Hawley and sponsor Mrs. April Leeper for making this special event for the students and their families. Evidence-based decision-making. The C3 banquet was held, end-of-the-year C3 banquet was held last Sunday night with 17 students in attendance to honor seniors Josh Lemler and Anna McIntyre. C3 stands for Character, Community, and Care. Just high-integrity individuals in our community investing in Triton scholars and doing all they can to encourage and uplift Triton students throughout the year. This fits in the evidence-based decision-making because we know that when we surround our students with people who care for them and do everything in their power to invest in them, that our students have a better chance of reaching their full potential. I want to congratulate the VEX Robotics World competitors, Hunter Arvison and Camden Large, on their performance in Dallas, Texas. Colton, you know what? I checked on that, and too many C's in that family. Colton, good job, buddy. Sorry about that. Daggone it. Yeah, I even asked somebody, and they're like, yeah, I think it was. Anyways, Colton, good job. Sorry. Hunter Arvison, congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Heckerman, for taking that trip to Dallas and making that an awesome experience. If you get an opportunity to talk to Mr. Heckerman about that, he just said that Dallas did it upright. Did a really nice job, and it was a great experience. I want to congratulate Vincent Prater, Cam Callahan, Cole Irvine, and Javen May on breaking the 4x100 relay time. Just this last week with a 44.6 seconds, pretty incredible. Braden Cunningham, after our board meeting last month, was invited to the Moose Krause Scholarship. He was a finalist, and that is an awesome experience as well. Addison Beers continues to shatter the shot put records, throwing over 39 feet on Thursday evening. The Trojan players did a great job at their Grease is the Word, the Zoozicle on Saturday evening and Sunday afternoon. The Triton mathletes, after our last board meeting, placed third overall at the HNAC conference math competition. Thank you to Mrs. Carrie Orlowski and our math department who made that possible. The algebra team took algebra 2 team took first place. Geometry team took second place. Top 10 recognitions was Dolan Berkeypile, Darren King, Caden Large, Adrian Rooney, Wesley Reynolds, Cheyenne Hawley, Braden Cunningham. So congratulations to all 24 participants. Also in front of you are events to start the new year. It's hard to believe, but as we wrap up this year, we start anew very, very quickly. So those are just a review. If you notice the top, we did confirm June 23rd for our board retreat, approximately 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Boathouse, as we've done the last couple of years. And I was reminded right before this meeting, just a reminder, tomorrow night, the ISBA regional meeting will take place at the Four Seasons Conference Room for that regional meeting. Be glad to take any questions if anybody has them.
If not, we'll move on to patrons' comments. Do you guys have any questions for the? No? All right, we will move on to building reports.
Okay, updates for the junior, senior high school. As Mr. Riffle said, we've been hard at work with iLearn the last several weeks. So we've wrapped up all language arts tests, and this week we're wrapping up math tests. So I'm sure both teachers and students are excited about that. So Remedy Live, that was a presentation that we gave our grades 9 through 12, and it just had a lot to do with just making good decisions. You think about the decisions our students have to make, and it was just a lot about making good decisions despite maybe some of the things going on in our lives that do not put us in a great place to make those good decisions. So I think that was well received by our students, and that was sponsored by the Marshall County LLC, the local coordinating council. So we appreciate their support on bringing that to Triton. We had an incentive trip on May 3rd for grades 7 and 8. Students that met criteria. We took them to the South Bend Cubs game. It was cold, but we still enjoyed ourselves. So not the best weather for a game, but it was good. So we talked about the musical, although they did do a really good job, so congratulations on that. Washington, D.C. trip, so this is the first year it was really a junior-senior trip, and we're gonna do that kind of an every other year thing. That way, if you remember it, we were trying to make sure that we had enough kids going that we could bring down the cost for our students. And we had I can't remember exactly how many kids, but we had enough students to make it economical for our kids. And they left on Friday, and they got back either late last night or early this morning, whichever way you want to look at it. So they will return to school tomorrow. Let's see, upcoming events. This is just a crazy time. This coming Friday, the 12th, we have our senior walk and senior picture. So our seniors in their cap and gown will march through the halls of the elementary, and that's always a really neat experience. And hopefully it motivates our younger students and gets them excited. But I think our seniors, although they're going to be tough and act like it's not a big deal, at the end of the day, they really enjoy that. Immediately following that, we'll get all of our seniors together and we'll take their panoramic picture on campus somewhere. Academic awards, Mr. Rivel was talking about this also on the 12th, and that's at 6 o'clock in the TAC. May 15th, we're having data analysis for math and language arts, junior, senior high school, or junior and senior high teachers. May 17th, we have high school awards during the school day. On May 19th, we have Trojan Wars, so that'll be a day of fun for everybody. On May 24th, we start exams, and that'll be through the 26th, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, our last 3 days, we will have exams. On May 25th, we will also have our senior cookout, and on May 26th, that's when we're going to have our junior high awards during our exam periods. June 2nd, graduation practice at 10 a.m. So I was going to quiz you guys and see if you remembered the time, but I won't do that to you. And then also on June 4th, that's actually the graduation ceremony at 2 o'clock. Hopefully everybody received invitations to that. And I guess I just want to encourage all staff, teachers, bus drivers, just everyone that's involved in what we do here for our kids to know that it's important to attend graduation. This isn't just something that I think teachers in grades 9 through 12 should celebrate. It's something that K through 12, we should hopefully see teachers and everyone involved in who's contributed in these graduating seniors and what they've accomplished. So hopefully to see everybody there. So you have any questions for me? Okay.
Like Mr. McCann, we are actually, unlike Mr. McCann, we are finished with iLearn, so we are done. I'd like to thank everybody who really participated. It takes a lot of people to make sure that they've had from the death of a very close loved one. Next year, we look at constantly looking at the needs of our students. We have a lot of kids who have parents who are or have been incarcerated. That's also a very tough time for some kids. And She's talking about having something maybe specifically for them, some kind of a support group next year for those students. We're still working with high ability students as far as identifying some for next year. We've already identified some. There are others still to come in front of a committee. We just were able to, although in the classrooms they are getting differentiation on a regular basis at their level, we also did 3 pullouts this year at the elementary where we did some special things, half-day things with our high ability students that I think they really enjoyed, and I appreciate the teachers for planning those and implementing those. They take extra time for them to do, but I think that it was a lot of fun and hopefully introduce some kids to something new and different. I appreciate you approving our desks and chair purchase. That's something that we don't do very often. I'm glad because it was a lot of work and time to consider what's going to be the best for us and trying to filter in all opinions at different grades, and including the custodial staff who works with putting things in classroom, fixing them when they don't, when they're broken and so forth. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll get those in for next year. Before school starts, but it's always possible that it will come after. You can't always guarantee what that looks like, but we'd like to have those in place to start this school year. Tomorrow we will be interviewing after school. We have a committee who's going to be interviewing for a new 2nd grade teacher, and so I'm looking forward to that and the possibilities that it has for us for next year. As we said, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I just like to say a shout out to not just teachers, even though it's Teacher Appreciation, we look at our whole staff. You know, whether we have an education degree or not, if we're in the business that we are in schools, we are teachers. We lead by example. Some of us are mentors, some of us are coaches, some people are volunteers, but our kids are learning from us whether we call ourselves teachers or not. So I appreciate all those people who are investing in our students and leading by their example and their attitudes at school. We also, even though we finished iLearn, we have a lot of other local assessments that are underway for the end of the year so that we can see how our students are growing and where we need to do better too as an instructional staff. Our data analysis will be May 16th, 17th and 18th, 17th and 18th of May. We were anxious to start summer school on June 5th. We will have some training for teachers who are going to be teaching that for the new curriculum, and that is on May 31st. A lot of good things coming up tomorrow. Thanks to PTO, we're also going to distribute books to all students in our final RIF distribution. That's always fun when they get to take a book home. I appreciate the volunteers who are helping to put that on as well. We do have our senior walk on Friday. Like Mr. McCann said, it's a good time for kids, but it kind of makes our teachers cry. I just have to admit. You see the passage of time. Some of you see the students that you saw that were once at the elementary, and it's kind of emotional too when you hear that pomp and circumstance. But we're looking forward to that. Lots of special things coming up, lots of study trips in May that still have yet to come, good experiences for our kids. Also recognizing at the lower level our preschoolers who are graduating and starting their elementary career, and then also our 6th graders who will be wrapping up their elementary career and moving over to the junior senior high. Also, all school field day on May 25th. On our last day of school, we're going to have our school picnic for our staff. We're going to do it a little bit differently and just have it during their lunch times, but we hope to have a special luncheon for them to celebrate and also to thank Mr. Gephardt for his efforts in our school over the last many years. In addition to that, we're going to have Culver Pipes and Drums that are bagpipes and a drum corps who are going to be coming that morning for a little concert in the gym. So it's something that's going to be really different. I hope it can encourage our kids to do something different, to enjoy music in a different way, and to see kids who are also enjoying music in a different way. So I'm glad they reached out to us and offered to come, and I think that'll be a great final day activity. I think that's it for now. business, we will move to adjourn at 7:32.